Modern pop culture has embraced the Spartan warrior as the ultimate symbol of hypermasculinity. We see them in movies and video games as perfectly sculpted, fearless soldiers defined by a singular warrior ethos. This narrative frames the Spartans as the selfless defenders of the Greek world, the only ones capable of holding the line for Western civilization. Historians call this idealized image the Spartan mirage. It was a highly successful propaganda campaign that the Spartans themselves helped create and maintain for centuries. The historical reality is that the Spartan military was rarely used to fight foreign empires. Instead, its primary function was the occupation of its own neighbors. After conquering the neighboring region of Messenia, the Spartans enslaved the entire population. These people became helots, state-owned serfs handling all farming and labor, leaving Spartan men only to train for war. This massive demographic imbalance meant enslaved helots outnumbered Spartan citizens by 7-1. The Spartan state functioned as an armed prison camp, where every institution was designed to keep this massive, captive population in chains. To produce the enforcers needed for domestic security, the state mandated the agoge, a rigorous training program that every male citizen was forced to enter. At 7 years old, boys were removed from their families and placed in communal barracks. They were deliberately underfed, subjected to public beatings, and forced to sleep on hard reeds to build toughness. While modern media portrays this as the making of individual action heroes, the program's actual goal was to break individuality. It was designed to enforce absolute obedience to the state. This conditioning created soldiers who functioned as a single synchronized block known as the phalanx. Success depended on every man holding his position and acting as a mindless part of the collective. Spartan discipline was the tool used to create guards who would perfectly hold the line against a domestic slave uprising. The day-to-day management of the helots was handled by the Krypteia, a secret police force that utilized state-sponsored terror. Every year, the Spartan state officially declared war on its own slaves. This legal maneuver allowed any Spartan to kill a helot without religious or legal consequences. Members of the Krypteia roamed the countryside at night, specifically targeting and assassinating the strongest and smartest helots to prevent any potential leadership from emerging. This reliance on domestic terror made the Spartan military hesitant to leave home. They were notoriously slow to respond to foreign threats because they feared the helots would revolt the moment the army marched away. Their reputation for fighting to the death was shattered at the Battle of Sphacteria in 425 BC. When a group of elite Spartans was trapped on an island, they chose to surrender to the Athenians rather than die in battle. The myth of Spartan bravery often masked a deeper reality of strategic paranoia and a fear of being exposed far from their base of power. The Spartan system relied on a specific set of economic and social requirements that eventually triggered a decline from within. This collapse was driven by oliganthropia, or the shortage of men. To remain a citizen, a Spartan had to graduate from the agoge and pay a monthly quota of food to the military mess halls. As wealth inequality increased, many Spartans lost their land and could no longer pay their dues. This chart shows the result. The number of full Spartan citizens plummeted from 8,000 to just a few hundred over several centuries. By maintaining such exclusive and rigid citizenship laws, Sparta slowly stripped itself of the manpower needed to defend its borders. In 371 BC, at the Battle of Leuctra, the Theban army used innovative tactics to crush the remaining Spartan forces. Following the victory, the Thebans marched into Spartan territory and liberated the helots. This act instantly dismantled the economic and military machine that had sustained Sparta for centuries. The former regional tower eventually devolved into a destination for wealthy Romans, who traveled to the ruins to observe staged performances of ancient Spartan rituals. Sparta's legacy is a dark warning about the long-term failure of a society built on absolute oppression. Subscribe to Ancient World Unveiled for more forgotten truths.